Hey guys, John here. Welcome back to another video. So we're not only installing one exhaust system today, but we are installing two by MagnaFlow. We have their SPEQ Catback Series Performance Exhaust right here. This one comes with tailpipes that should hang up a bit higher than what comes on this Tacoma. And we also have their Overland Series Exhaust, which I'm very excited about to show you guys. This one kind of tucks up under the axle, or you could allow it to come on out of the side. I will have an article on this on trailtacoma.com. They were the providers of this, which is really cool. And we will also have a link to our forum for 4G Taco stuff over there. Huge shout out to MagnaFlow for sending two of these kits out. That's pretty rad for me to see which one you guys may like and to give you guys a better understanding of their system. Let's get into it. So we're gonna start with the SPEQ Performance Series. What I do like, and I wanna point out to you guys, is I've installed a lot of aftermarket exhausts in the past, and typically the hangers here are just like straight lines. They don't have like the little nub right here to make sure that stuff doesn't fall off. Very mimicking OEM, which I really like. This part right here too is to hopefully help reduce any drone on the inside of the vehicle. And then of course we have the muffler right here, our tube that goes up over the axle. And then if you have a Tacoma with a long bed, there is an 18-inch little adapter that will go in between it all. So they make it for all Tacomas. You got the bag of hardware here, and also in that hardware came some pretty simple instructions, only 6 steps. So should be pretty easy to get the old exhaust out and then put the new one in. And all the exhausts came nice and packaged, as you guys could see. So they had like this foam in it as well, like the spray foam stuff, which is nice to keep things from rattling around. And then the hangers too, they wrapped in styrofoam right there. The actual muffler was nice and wrapped in bubble wrap, and then the exhaust tips too, to keep them nice. Like if I elect to put the exhaust tip on with the Overland one, nice and bubble wrapped as well. And then all the items that we need for installs right here, I highly recommend an exhaust hanger pliers, dude. These things are a lifesaver for those pesky little grommets. Ratchet, if you guys need to do it manually, totally fine. This calls for 13 millimeter, but I just tried a 13 millimeter and it was a little bit too small, so upgrading to a 14, and then just some silicone lubricant just in case you need it for those pesky exhaust hangers. Dude, what a freaking difference. Holy smokes. And this guy, pretty heavy. Now, what we're gonna do is go ahead and take off these little grommet isolator things. Again, it's hard to do. That's where this guy comes in. Pretty easy to just pop that right off like this. And we're gonna go ahead, transfer all these over to the MagnaFlow exhaust. So with the whole old system out, all these rubber grommets transferred over. I like to put the hose clamps on first. Definitely make sure we remember to do that. Starting per the instructions, we're gonna start up at the front, make our way back towards the tailpipe where that goes, and tighten things, but not all the way. We wanna leave it somewhat loosey-goosey to allow for some adjustment, which will be nice. Now a little hack I like to do for the rear exhaust to go up and over, because it's a little tight, I put the jack on the frame right here to be able to really get the travel on the rear suspension, and you guys will see the extra a bit of space that we get right under there by doing that. So just a jack on the frame here, not on the rear axle because that brings everything up. But if you do it on the frame right there, it's nice and easy. Man, I love how this tailpipe is just all blacked out too. Hey, that's a lot tighter than OEM, because OEM hangs like right down here. Take you guys in a little closer. So there we go. So pretty dang tight up in there, almost like TRD Pro status with that exhaust, and then barely tips out too. That actually looks really freaking good. All right, here we go. First startup in the garage. Ah, that's better. As good as a 4-cylinder, I guess, is gonna sound, but let's go on a drive now, see how it is. I like that low rumble note though. That actually sounds really good. Here, let me take you closer. Microphone. That's not that bad. All right, I'm gonna open up the garage real quick so we don't fume ourselves out. But what it sounds like after driving about 15 miles or so. Definitely can smell that stainless steel, but I'm gonna set you guys up right here and do the same stuff that I did stock. Just light acceleration up into about 45. You guys can hear it. And then we'll drive past the camera at 45. And that was 45. I didn't do a rev test with the stock, but we'll go ahead and just put it into neutral under here. It's definitely got some balls for a little 4-cylinder now. Sounds a lot different with the window down. This acoustic glass really takes it away, huh? All right, gonna rev it up again. So we're at 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 25, 3, 4. Bop, 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 bop. All right, and then just one more on the side of the freeway, kind of a clip for you guys. Truck pretty warmed up. All right, slowing down for the toll. Give it some gas. Definitely start to hear some wind noise. Let off and just cruise at about 65 miles an hour. About 60. And I really don't hear it. Now granted, it's a very windy day. You guys can see the water over there. It is choppy. So it's definitely a bit windier than what it was the other day, but at 55 miles an hour, I can hear a little bit of it, but I am giving it gas. Turbo is spooled to close to 7.5 PSI, so it does have some gas, but if I let off, it goes away. So obviously there will be a tiny micro bit of drone I would feel at like a highway speed, but it seems like the not peak drone level, but like where you're really gonna hear it is at like 1,900 to like 2,100 or so. So this truck on the highway, it cruises lower than that. I can hear it more now because I'm starting to climb up this little bit of the bridge right here. So I can hear a little bit of the exhaust. We are spooled up. And then as we decel back down, obviously it'll start to go away. Alright, so I got the Overland Series Exhaust out, or muffler I should say. You guys can see on this side, right here, it has like a little placard right there, which is actually pretty nice. And I could tell right away that this was a bit bigger than the SPEQ one that we just put on the truck. So typically that means that it will be a little bit quieter, which is nice. So hopefully it's like a half and half. So you can see how kind of big it is compared to the last one, but still compared to the OEM, it's a little bit smaller. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of throatiness out of it, but not being like over the top loud. So here's a side-by-side difference between the Overland Series 1, A lot bigger of a muffler than the SPEQ one, and you could tell too the patina already that it got. That is the SPEQ one, and here is the Overland one. So the patina of just a quick drive, like 30 miles or so, making it look real good. But with this Overland one too, we get a little patch with it, man. It's very rad. And also you get the 2 tips. So you get the turn down, which we will be installing, but I feel bad because this one looks so freaking good. Look, like a black chrome, has MagnaFlow right there. That one would honestly look really good. But as you guys know, I already cooked my exhaust out in Moab. I guess we could probably put this one on for Florida, but if I ever off-road this truck really again on a and drop it off on a shelf and stuff, it'll definitely hit. But man, the MagnaFlow patch will be going onto the patch wall. There we go. Now I'm gonna install the Overland one, pretty much same process as the SPEQ one. Also, I just noticed this while putting the little exhaust hanger on, but I don't know, dude. I like it when companies do extra detail like that. It just really tells me that they care about their product and they don't just, you know, slap a freaking exhaust hanger on it and call it a day. And the Overland Series is installed. Freaking check it out, dude. It contours the frame rail perfectly right there. So if it was to get smacked, you're smacking all your frame pretty much anyway. So dang, that looks really nice right there. That's tame, I like that. Very deep. All right, time to do another outfit change. I feel like freaking Taylor Swift, bro. So we're almost to the same spot that I did the other exhaust clips on, and I just wanted to hop on real fast. I think that this is the moneymaker right here, man. This is perfect. It's the perfect amount of exhaust sound, to me at least. The perfect amount of turbo noise coming through. I can't wait till I get an intake on this thing. And the kind of fake sound that Toyota gives this truck, it all matches perfectly. Here we go. Just that little, like a little hum, and then you hear the turbos a little bit too. It's just, or sorry, turbo a little bit. This is perfect. And now 45 miles an hour. Nice and stock pretty much sounding. And since it seems like we're going with the wind and you don't hear a bunch of wind noise, this is it at 55 miles an hour. Just cruising. I do not hear the exhaust really at all. I'll give it a little bit of gas. Just hear a little bit of it. It's definitely the best of both worlds. If you do wide open throttle with it, you're gonna definitely hear it. But if you're just wanting to cruise and not hear the exhaust all the time, I feel like that this one is definitely the good one for that. So we're going up the bridge now. And I definitely think that with the SPEQ one, we were hearing the exhaust a little bit more as we were going up. Give it a little more gas. Yeah, hear it just a little bit. That's nice. All right, and we made it to our spot again, about 15 miles. We'll take a listen to the exhaust. So like I said, man, very OEM plus. I think OEM plus is gonna be the best way to say it because it still acts as if it's OEM, sounds OEM-ish until you really get on the beans, and it just complements everything really, really well, honestly. And I don't know if it's butt dyno, but with both exhaust systems, I do feel like a little bit more oomph out of the truck, like in the low end. It's a lot more tame than the SPEQ series one for sure. All right, now we're gonna get up to 45 again. Passing at 45. And then once we get to the sign here again, we'll floor it. 1,000 RPM, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,500, and redline. And I like too with it that you could see the exhaust poking through just a little bit right there at the frame. And again, man, it just flows perfectly with that with the frame right there going back towards the tow hitch. And then a little deeper of a sound when the AC kicks on. So huge thanks again to MagnaFlow, Trail Tacoma, and also our forum 4G Taco for giving me the opportunity to actually try both of these out for you guys. So to recap, if you want like to really hear your Tacoma, if you have a manual, you want to hear the RPMs and all that stuff, definitely go with the SPEQ one. It's very street ready, kind of street truck vibes with it. The exhaust tip for it, very cool. And it tucks up nice and high, kind of like the TRD exhaust. Now, the best of both worlds, in my opinion, is the Overland Series. One, it tucks up the exhaust pipe really up out of your way. Another thing too, compared to the NITOP that I had on the truck, my truck's at idle right now. There's no vibrations inside this cabin. So I feel like with the tip being dumped out towards the back versus right under the cab, the vibrations are no longer inside the cab, which is actually pretty nice. It's like very micro, very, very micro when the AC compressor kicks on. But aside from that, it's nowhere near as bad as it was when I had the NITOP axle dump on this truck. As far as sound with the Overland, like I said, it's the best of both worlds. Wide open throttle actually sounds pretty dope, but when you're just, you know, cruising around and stuff, it's not overly drony or annoying in my opinion. So guys, I appreciate you all watching. If you want to hear anything else about this exhaust, let me know down in the comment section, and I will catch you all in the next one. All right, see you later.